All right. Well, this is a bit of unusual setting for me to start a video, but nonetheless, I'm here on the bike doing some Zone 2 training right now because I feel like that sounds fancier to say on YouTube. Zone 2. Really, I'm just trying to get something in today, trying to get in some consistency. And so today I wanted to talk about a misstep that I made yesterday that I'm very upset about, but that I've since got over. So essentially, yesterday, I screwed up. I basically just ate way too much food, went completely off my diet, and alongside that, the mental health wasn't at its peak, I guess you could say. I definitely wasn't a very contributing member of society. And so, how do I react to that, though? How do I rebound from something like that? Because I don't know about you guys, but a lot of times in the past, those can really get to you, those kinds of issues, and hurt your momentum. So how do you prevent that from happening? I'm just going up a hill here. So essentially, there's 3 ways that you think of the problem that you need to stop doing. Oftentimes we think our problems are personal. We think our problems are pervasive, and we think that our problems are permanent. And those are the 3 main issues that cause us to not overcome what we were struggling with. So let's go over those. First one I said was personal. What does that mean? That means that the problem is within you, that you believe that whatever it is that you're not achieving it because you believe that there's a problem with you, like whether that's biologically or mentally or something. There's some problem that is within you, and in a way it's kind of the same as personal or as permanent. But basically, if the problem's within you, it means you can't really negate the problem because it's stuck, it's in you, and that's just not true. You have to think of your problems as external. They're not actually something that is within you. If you believe that, then you will manifest that those problems are within you, and they're just not. So how do you have to think of that? Well, I'll give you an example. Some people might identify as being overweight, for example. I personally don't, but I definitely don't identify myself as being fit all the time. So when you identify yourself as being overweight, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And anytime you're in a situation where you have to choose to go on a diet or something, if you identify as being overweight, you're going to say, oh, well, I'm an overweight person, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to eat this. Oh, I've always had a problem with this, so this is just what I do. It's part of me. And that's not true. Problem is out there. You can let it get to you. You can let it be a part of you, but it doesn't have to be, and it shouldn't be. So that's number 1. Stop thinking of your problems as personal. Rather, think of them as something out there that you can then influence. All right. Number 2, pervasive. What does that mean, pervasive? It means that if you have one problem, everything's a problem. It means that if you're struggling and you're not good at something, if you're struggling with something, it means that if you're struggling with something, it therefore affects everything else in your life. So, great example would be, again, we'll stay on this weight example, but maybe you're not doing so well in your diet. Maybe you screwed up like I did yesterday and went over your limit for calories, all right? If your problem's pervasive, that means that you screwed up on your diet. You're a screw up in general. It means that if you can't stay diligent on your diet, you can't do your homework, you can't socialize, you can't do all this stuff because you're a screw up overall. And that's just wrong. And it sounds very obvious, but oftentimes we do get into these mindsets where we do think like that. So that's the second one, pervasiveness. The third one is that your problems are permanent. That you cannot affect your problems. They're stuck there. And again, it seems obvious, but oftentimes we do think of it as that way. Oftentimes we do think, oh, yeah, that's never going to change. It's just how it is. Things are never just how they are. Things are always changing. So, how do you want them to change? It's really the question. And you have control over that. Like I said, we're always growing towards something. And especially with our problems. So, do you want to grow deeper and deeper into them? Or do you want to try to make it out? Because you can. You don't have to suffer from these problems all the time. There is change out there. You just have to get it. So, those are really the three main tenets that I wanted to go over today. Just talking about how things are personal, pervasive, and permanent. And I highly suggest you read about it more on Tony Robinson's website. But that's all I have for you today. My bike just broke. Cheers.